So today I have very exciting news for us here at Whorled. But first, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek at how the courtyard's going and take a look at the nursery space and do a little work in there because that's coming right along. So let's go. And okay, so first, this is like a sneak peek because Leith is doing a video, like a how-to video, because this fencing that he has done is just amazing, and I will show you what I mean. Okay, what you're looking at here, this open spot will be the entryway to our nursery, and that gate will be open and that leads into the nursery. But this will be the courtyard area, and here we have our hackberry bonsai. We've had this guy for several years. He's amazing. So I'm just gonna give you a quick little tour around. Unfortunately, we cannot we can't cover that up, so we're gonna figure out some way, maybe like paint the block or do some, we're gonna do something there because that's really kind of an eyesore in the middle of it all. But yeah, check this out. Oh my goodness, isn't it amazing? I told you it would be way better than I could ever expect, and as promised, Leith, he's just so amazing that way. I could never have more. Throw it together, it's fine, but he all the thought and just the creative process is pretty amazing. So, and then yeah, we'll continue on, and I have said before we're covering up those slabs, so that will be a whole nother project. And then there's, I guess there's more to do on the inside. You got to cover the wire. But yeah, how cool is that, huh? Pretty amazing. Oh, hi Silas. You just hanging out after breakfast? Yeah. And oh, there you are, compadre. Hi, buddy. They love each other. How cool is this squash volunteer? This was unintentional, but looks beautiful. Let's get up close and personal. Oh yeah. And I'm not quite sure what squash, maybe a spaghetti squash. Oh, isn't that so neat? So it came up in the chicken coop here. Let's see. So it's safe because there's this little cage, so the chickens couldn't completely demolish it. And then it just grew up and onto this fence that we have to keep the chickens in. And yeah, so just super gorgeous. And this has inspired us now, because squash, if you grow squash, you know they're crazy and take up tons of space. So I think we're just going to plant them in like fruit tree wells, and they can just kind of be all around the yard, and we'll do more than we need. So if some get eaten, then chickens, then we will still have some. Oh, Rose. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, Piggy! What are you doing, Piggy? Little girl. Little muffin pie. Little miss. Oh, she's so cute, huh? Okay, so before I give you the big news, I just wanted to kind of explain who we are, what we're doing, how we ended up here, and where's here, and all of that. So my husband and I were living in Tucson. We had just recently got together. Might not have been husband and wife yet. And we were met at Tohono Tool Botanical Gardens. It's so romantic, right? Well, two little plant people. But yeah, so I just always wanted to be in the country. I love animals, and this is like this dream, and I kept getting older, and I didn't think it was gonna happen. And then I just was like, well, if it's not gonna happen, how can I make it happen? You know, like how do you make your dreams come true? And what is it gonna take? What would it take, right? So for us, money is always the limiting factor, it seems like. So what we did is got rid of everything and moved into a travel trailer, very graciously on my aunt and uncle's property. They're so wonderful. Thank you guys so much for letting us do that. And we stayed there for several years, and we paid off debt and, you know, really try to put ourselves in a really good financial situation, because what we wanted to do was buy something outright and then move there, not have any debt, and then our nursery doesn't have to make millions of dollars to support us, because we don't really have tons of bills, or so as plans go, it's so amazing. It was harder to pay down debt than we thought it was going to be. COVID happened, right? We got accepted to this farmer's market because we were going to start selling plants in Tucson and, really start the nursery there. And we had grown all these plants and got accepted to the farmer's market. And then like 2 weeks later, they said, no, I'm sorry, we're not taking any new people, COVID, all that. And we're like, okay. Which ended up being perfectly fine, because for a while we had my nephew living with us, and that was crazy. And then we thought he might be with us forever, and so then we're like, crap, what do we do? Can't live in this. I mean, some people do, and that's great, but it drove me crazy having all of us in that travel trailer together. Like, really need a better place, and it felt like I was gonna have to give up on my dreams to make that happen. And I just reached out. I reached out to a really good friend of mine, and I was like, here's the situation. And and I knew she had connections here in Arivaca, which is about a little over an hour from Tucson. And I was like, is anyone selling anything that, they'd be willing to, do you know of anything? And she texted back that, she had a friend who was probably looking to sell and might be willing to do owner financing. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. So we started this process, and they were willing, and they wanted to make sure she grew up here, and it was important for her to find someone that was going to take care of the property and be a good community member. So they're willing to work with us, and we got here, I guess it's been 2 years, 3, I should have been more clear. Anyways, so we got here, and it was so amazing. Although not long after we got here, the courts ordered my nephew back to his father, whole traumatic thing. And yeah, but he got us here, and it's just been amazing, and it really felt serendipitous, like it was meant to be. It all went so smoothly, and I started growing plants, and redoing the goal, having this nursery open, and we got goats, and it's been a whole thing ever since. We've had a property, and they were able to sell that, and so we were able to pay off this property. So it's just, you put something out there, and you make little steps towards it, and you just keep trying to make your dreams happen. And it's amazing. Like, it's just amazing how much we feel so blessed. I can't even, I just can't even express that enough to you. Yeah, I found a paper when we were unpacking that had written like 4 years before we moved here, because we knew we loved Arivaca. We wanted to be here, and it was like, I want to live in Arivaca. I want it to be off usable roads. I want a well, and all these things. We got exactly what we asked for, and yeah, so amazing. And here we are, And let me show you. Sorry, I'm so emotional about this. This is just so. I was like, people are so crying on there. And here I am all cheering up, so ridiculous. We're just blessed. So let me show. We'll talk about this nursery space here, and then I'll give you the big news. Okay, here she is, and I'm rearranging stuff, and it'll be all perfect when we open. But just have lots of lovely varieties, and just have so many plants, and more plants and a little more space as we continue to grow. And it'll be interesting to see kind of community support we have, and if it's bad, we're gonna look into trying that farmers market thing again. So so what my plan is today is get these plants organized. We had kind of done the fencing wrong. So we had the bamboo on the fencing on the inside, and the wind had blown it inwards. And so we had to correct that. That's why some of these plants are moved out as well. But yeah, it's just coming along. It's so, so amazing. A little weedy, but that's different than when in Tucson you have dirt places. Here it's like, it's just this green. You can kind of see a peak through there. Look at that. Just green weeds. So, kitty. You're so handsome. He's a great man. He's a kitty. Oh, money. He's so handsome. He's a great man. I'll go in. Go inside. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna show you a little secret here. If you notice, look at all these little babies all on the ground, all in their pots. They just went crazy. So since I do believe this will be a very popular plant, it's good for the monarchs, and that's an issue right now. Save the monarchs. Provide them native milkweeds, and so this is one of them, and it'll do really well. It's not very tall, it stays small. Usually find them in riparian areas, and this is a little, we'll see if we can get in here, see that little, oh come on, focus. Anyways, there's a little bug on there. They get these little milkweed bugs, not a big deal. So I'm gonna go in here and just dig the ones out of the ground, and I'll pull some out of the pots and get them rearranged. But yeah, that's a little secret, you have plants, you can, this is how, this can just tend to be easier than trying to plant seeds, Just dig up some babies, and then we'll have next year's crop. So how exciting. So I'm not gonna put them in a 1 gallon size yet. I'm just gonna put a whole bunch in these little flats, and then we can divide them out later when we have more time and they've gotten a little bit larger. No, no need your help. Okay, that's kind of like one flat. I forgot, I wasn't even thinking that all these babies are coming up through this carpet right here, which is pretty amazing actually. But yeah, so this is carpet, and it's hard to get a scoop, but we did. And I'll add a little more soil to this one, and I'll fill it up too. But it doesn't look like a whole lot, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like a solid 30 plants. So one more, and that's 60. So thank you so much, milkweed, for making it so I don't have to plant your seeds next year. there they are. Not the prettiest looking, I don't know, certainly not the best job I've ever done, but I know they're pretty tough, and, you know, as long as most of them pull through, then it should be okay. And so what will happen now is, you know, they'll start to grow, and then once they've kind of established, gotten over the shock of being torn out of the ground, then I can divide them up and replant them into 1 gallons for sale. So it's just a super easy way to make that happen. Oh, there's a mosquito flying around my finger. Get out of here. Out of here. Ah! Okay. Anyways, we're in the greenhouse and there's no air in here, and the mosquitoes love me. They just zone right in. Also, what's happening in here is a need for some serious reorganization. We have all these in the middle right here because our greenhouse is not secure in any way, and mice come in and eat all of our favorite seedlings. So if they're right here in the middle, they cannot get up, and these ones are protected. But right now we're in the process of getting the rest of the stuff in here, put into the pots of the 1 gallons mostly that they're gonna go into, and then it's kind of a shift in seasons, so we'll start focusing on, yeah, fall time. So yeah, but I don't know, this greenhouse, man, I just can't wait for it to be redone and be like a fabulous place to be, you know. One of these. Oh, I got quite a bit done. It took a little bit longer because I found this black, I think it's like a roofing type stuff, in the shop, and I thought it would work really well because I have mentioned before that having all this stuff on the ground, you gotta pick it up all the time so it doesn't root into the ground, and then weeds grow up through it, and it's quite a pain. So it is really nice to have found that. But yeah, check it out. There's still a little bit more to do, but it's really coming along. Like, things are mostly where they're gonna be. This back section I still need to go through, weed, and then I found a little bit more of that black tarp stuff, and I'm just trying to decide where I want it, and I'll probably put that in tomorrow. And I'm thinking it's close to dinner time, so everyone's starting to, well, it's like an hour or so away, but hour and a half, but they think that's close to them, so they just start yelling, and life gets kind of a little unpeaceful. But so around this corner is all this Bermuda grass, and it's such a pain because it'll grow right up through the pot, and I really don't want anyone to get Bermuda grass, and gotta stay on top of it because once it gets in there, it's really hard to get out. So I'm thinking that black stuff to go around here, and then the back, and then hopefully where these trees are. So, but yeah, I hope you can kind of imagine, see a little better how it might look, and I'm going to go through here and count the species and come right back and tell you, and then also tell you our big news. Okay, made it! So, we know our opening date, and we are going to open the nursery for the first time on October 1st. And we're gonna be, that's a Saturday. It's also Leith's birthday. So it's and it's just special. It's a special day. So we're super excited. I think we decided on like our hours to be like 9 to 3, and you know, next year in the summer we'll also do a little earlier. We're at least gonna be open a couple months. Not sure how we stand yet for like wintertime. Everything's gonna freeze, and not everything, but most things will look dormant, and most people don't plant a whole lot during the winter. So one of the goals for Whorled Leaf is to, you know, we're gonna have other products in the future, and we can bring in more variety. So there is some green things, and I don't know, we'll just have to really see how that goes. But yeah, so we have our opening day. Tuesday we go and talk to the tax people so that it's all set up, because I'm not the greatest with math, you know, like I could never pull off an A. I tried. I really tried. I got good grades in everything else but math. It's very hard for me, and I just don't want the pressure of knowing I can make any little mistake. And yeah, so that's something that we thought about, and just gonna outsource and let someone else help us, and then I can focus on the business and plants and goats and all the craziness that happens here. And so yay, October 1st. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there, and you know, I can't wait to see you next time.